For this time, we play as 3 teams of 2 players each. We will play until 40 rounds. Yesterday's game finished at round 36. So today we expect, well, I mean, depending on who plays, but we may get someone score 20 points, or we may get someone score, 16 points or 15 points. We'll see how that goes. One of the teams that has been already confirmed is featuring a very strong Japanese player. Not familiar with the second player. I'm not sure even where the second player is coming from. But yeah, right here. Well, there's a squirrel in the profile. Well, not sure. And if you guys are online right now, and if you're in the chat, then just feel free to let me know. And then on the development team, we got our wonderful programmer, Andre, and Kifasa, who is our moderator for a number of years. Both of them did not perform strongly yesterday because they were all distracted, or maybe because developers are generally pretty bad at playing their own games. We'll see. We'll see what happens today, if there is a redemption or not. We're still waiting for the second team to come through. Not sure what the status is on this. There are some discussions going on in Discord right now on who will join. And remember that the success of a team in this game is mostly based on how well people communicate with each other. And when you come across a Japanese or Chinese or a Russian team that can keep in control and can keep in synchronization with each other, then you're facing a really formidable enemy. Right now we get a mixed team, so maybe our development team has some chances. And then we'll see what the second team is like. So to make life easier for developers, we should probably just drop some random people that do not even speak the same language. Then maybe developers can win, but we'll see. We'll give it another few minutes until we're drafting someone in, and then we'll kick this off. Looking at the games in the lobby right now, there's a lot of activity happening in Asia. The Amsterdam server is also getting pretty packed right now. I think yesterday's peak was about 1.3 thousand players in the multiplayer at the same time, which is fairly good. I think our record of all time was something like 1,700 something, and that was a couple of months ago, 4 months ago to be precise. So right now we're doing pretty well. We're at 1,300 players in the game right this moment, and yesterday's peak was 1,464. I'm pretty sure we'll hit another record today, with everyone checking into their games that they've bought over the last couple of days. I think we have an extra close to 20,000 new players coming into the game in the last 48 hours. So welcome to everyone there. And for the tournament, for the upcoming tournament, I think the details are already published. Yep, they are. There's a Steam announcement with all those dates. So it starts tomorrow. On Friday, it'll go for 3 full days. And on Amsterdam, it'll be for 3 players. On Singapore, it'll be a 2-player format. There's a bunch of prizes. If you're curious about this, then just go and check Steam announcements. The way you access this in the game is just you go to multiplayer menu, and instead of ranked sessions, you'll see tournament sessions. So let's see who the missing players are. Meanwhile, what else is new? The season, the spring season, the general calendar season will be over in probably months. We will introduce a couple of new cards. These cards are already in production. At some moments down the line, in a couple of weeks, we'll share the art. In terms of design, they're already finished. And then from this year on, we're with 1 month ranked seasons. So at the end of every month, there is the results that we summarize in the letter and then distribute the prizes to top players. That's a switch from a 3-month season last year, which was at that time a bit too long, and we had some people in the top who would stop playing and just hang there in the top places without giving much chances to others to contend them. So we're changing that, and so far so good. We see that everyone has more chances this year to show up in top 20 on the letters. All right, so let me check where we are in terms of teams. And I think if anything, we can just go ahead and just do it as a quicker way as a 1-on-1. So let me do a count. We'll start in a minute. We'll start in 100 seconds. So 100 seconds, that'll be okay, a bit under 2 minutes. I think now the development team has a higher chance. Going 1-on-1 is generally easier. Okay, so I think we're good for kickoff. Okay, so we're about to launch. Hang on for a minute, and we'll go live. This is a team game. We will have a development team, a developer team, not the whole development team. The whole development team is a bit bigger, huh? And the developer team will go against the community team. When you play a team game here, you're able to split the roles if you want, even though yesterday we saw that the team that did not split the roles was really strong and won in the end. Both players were competing seriously, and both of them were accumulating points, so you couldn't really see which player will end up winning the game. Generally, people prefer to split with one player doing sort of taking on the role of protector and bully, and the other player going ahead and accumulating the score points. So 40 rounds, we're looking at a game that'll be under 1 hour. I would expect the winning team to end up with a score of 15 to 18 points. I don't think we'll see someone scoring 20. And as the stream is a little bit ahead, I can see that we're about to start. We're just waiting for one player to sign up. Yes, we have. It's Imsuli from Japan, and I think we're ready to start. Okay, so I'm gonna move to where the game is actually at, so that there's no delay between me making comments and the events happening in the game. All right. So at the start of the game, if you're not familiar with the game, then at the start of the game you can discard the cards that you do not want to keep. In this case, the stream is based on one of the developers, player number 1 on your screen, and he's starting at the office. Oh my god, this is the second playing field. I am less familiar with this field than the field that is more traditional. That this field has been added to the game I think about a year ago, maybe a year and a half ago. This is considered to be a more challenging field, a harder field for new players to to win on. So let's see. The players currently are distributed one by one. So Team Blue is the developer team. It's player 1 and player 3. And Team Red is player 2 and player 4. I already see some people scoring. Player 1 is with 2. Player 4 is with 1. But that doesn't really mean a thing. Since we're playing 40 rounds, I would say that the first 10 rounds or the first 15 rounds are not telling much. Generally, people start by working on their income level, accumulating income, so that they are in a position to get the money that they need to play stronger cards. Things to watch out for are income, malice level, which determines how much money you'll have to pay at the bribe spots, and then permanent cards, activated permanent cards. What we have here also, comparing to the stream from yesterday, so today we have chaos cards enabled. Chaos cards are the 6 cards that are available to every player in the session. And when one of such cards is played, then it is removed from the game. So here on the right side, you can see right now the chaos cards. All of them are strong. Half of them, 3, are played in the Inferno. 2 of them are played in the Astral Plane, and then 1 of them is played at the plant. So whenever you see someone going to the Astral Plane through a series of brave spots, or you see someone moving towards Inferno, which is in the middle of the board right now in this field, you know that they're up to something that is not nice, that is risky. We're also playing with special character abilities. That's another layer of the game that you can enable. Each of the 12 different characters has a different set of abilities and a different starting location, as well as the different sequence of where exactly they start. If there's 6 players playing, then it matters. And this playing field is generally not easy because it leads to more aggressive play. It's not as easy to understand who goes where as opposed to the original playing field. Now, nothing much happens right now. Everyone has money, 300, 300, 380, and 300. 300 is okay for medium strange card. Stronger cards will require you to pay 500 or 700 or up to 1,000. So not much to worry about, really. If you would see someone with 1,000, then you'd worry, but right now, not really. In terms of malice, everyone is bright clean at 0, except for player 1, one of our developers, with malice 1, but malice 1 is really nothing. And in terms of bribes and in terms of income, there's nothing much different there. Everyone is more or less in the same location on the map. And I would say at this time, generally we should expect players to work on their income, increase their money. So you see player 3 getting up to 500. He'll need the money if he'll have a strong card to play. One of the players does the inspection. You can see the eye that shows which player is inspected right now. If you discover a secret card, that card is discarded. If you discover a criminal card, then the player is arrested. Generally, criminal cards are hot cards in the sense that you don't want to carry them around for longer than needed. So if you have them, you generally either use them to move around, so you discard them, or you're running a risk that someone will check out your hand and then you'll go to jail. No one likes jail. I would even say that players generally hate jail. At the same time, jail is a part of the game mechanic, that is used to control certain players. So if there's a strong player and you need to stop them, then this is what you're doing. And then to win, you don't need to total up the score points of the whole team. I just need one player to be at the top. So at this time we have 1-0 and 1-2. I would say Team Red nominally is in the lead, but you know, at that moment, at that time, doesn't really matter much. We're at round 5 with 16 rounds or 15 rounds now to go until elections. During elections, what you have to look at is the votes. In terms of votes, we have 1, 1, 0, and 2. So at this time, if elections were to happen unexpectedly right now, then Team Red would win the governorship. The governor doesn't pay bribes. The governor actually takes bribes paid by other players. And being governor means that you can move to certain areas of the board for free, as you're not penalized by paying bribes. I was about to say that here's a player going up to the astral plane through a series of bribe spots, but that's not the case. He just went into a treasure. So in terms of money, again, it's 400, 300, 200, and 400. Nothing much, nothing to be proud of. In terms of income, I'd say player 2 has an income of 50, which is good. If you land on an income spot, you get double that. So it means that if you land, if that player lands, he'll score 100. It's not too bad. If you're not familiar with the game, then this game has 2 server clusters for multiplayer games. One is in Singapore, one is in Amsterdam. We use different rules for ranked games on each of the servers. So if you play ranked, then you can choose the style that you want. About 50% of all sessions happening in the game are single player, from what we can see on the data, and about the other half is multiplayer. If you play multiplayer, you can play with friends, set up a custom session, and modify the rules as you see fit. If you're not playing with friends, you just join ranked, or you can play single player games and then you play what we call challenges, which means playing against the bots, and the bots can drive some people crazy. I know they drive me crazy, but some of the achievements require you to win specific sessions against the bots. The game, if you didn't know, then the game ships into versions. You get the multiplayer, single player, online client, and then you get a totally offline specific version which you can run without being connected anyhow. We added that when we saw some people playing with bad connection or playing outside of where Wi-Fi is, so you're still able to do it. What you see here also on the board is that some of the players have custom cosmetic items. These either come through DLCs. We've got 4 DLCs like that, but it's just pure cosmetics. It's not anything connected to the mechanics, or through in-game drops. The game has a meta game, but in-game drops, they're all free. You don't need to pay for any keys to open up the chest that you get dropped. It's just an additional layer of fun that we introduced to the game when we tested the in-game mechanics about a couple of years back. Now, today is the last day of this sale. The game is currently on the front page of Steam, the 75% off. Celebrating the 3rd anniversary of launch on Steam. The game came out 3 years ago, following the period of 5.5 months in early access. This has been the first game of our team, even though each of us made games before, different kind of games. We made, some of us made mobile games, some of us published different PC games, and right now, I think for the last year and a half or so, we're working on a second game, which is called Spire of Sorcery, and should ship into early access sometime this year. And a warm welcome to some of the Japanese players coming to the chat to support their fellow players in Team Red. think if we would have two Japanese players in Team Red, then maybe the developer team will have no chance. But as it stands right now, the developer team is in the lead at 2-4 versus 2-0 on Team Red. Now let's see. The income didn't really change much, but in terms of money, we have player 3 with 604 points, and that's our community manager. So I hope he gets the chance of winning. And then there's a player 4 with 700 but 0 points. So let's see where he is. He's in the courthouse. And, well, I mean, technically he can get to the plant and he can do something there. Everyone else, you know, more or less at the same level. Player 1 has a malice of 5, which increases the bribes, but that's not to the incredible level where it will become prohibitive. So where does he go? Player 4 really has my interest. He's 1, 2, 3, 4. He's 4 spots away from the plant, and I'm pretty sure he may have a strong card to play there. Question is, will Team Blue be able to stop him or do something about it? Now, player 2 goes to treasure, gets 3 points, grabs the lead. Now that team is in the lead with 5-0 versus 4-2. And at this point, at round 11, that's not really something that will define the game. There's still 29 rounds left. But I would say 10 rounds from now, probably we will see who really has the chance of winning. At that time, right now it's 2-4, 5-0, so I would say that player 2 at this time is the candidate for scoring for Team Red, and then player 3 is the candidate for scoring for Team Blue. So the game basically is between player 2 and player 3, supported by players 1 and player 4 who are protecting them or helping them score money. Not sure what happened with player 4 in the plant, as he was going there, specifically there, and I expected him to play a strong card. He's got enough money, he's got 700, almost 800, but nothing really happened there. So I don't know what happened there. All right, so what do we have here? Player 4, where can he go? To the office? No, yep. Well. Okay, 3 points, and he still has 500 left. Can he sell votes? Well, he's now in the run for governorship. Okay, so here's the thing. Player 4 has 8 votes, and we have 8 rounds until elections. During elections, the votes, you lose half the votes. So in 8 rounds, his 8 votes will become 4 votes. At the same time, if he's able to go to the Inferno before that happens, then he may play some of the Chaos cards. And there's a couple of cards that require you to spend 10 votes to score. So we'll see. Now someone has a leak. Nothing great here. Pretty average cards, except maybe for sound investment, but I don't really see any strong cards here. Yeah, that's nothing super complicated. Okay, 6 score points. That was pretty good. That's why people generally are considering someone moving towards the plant or towards astral plane to be a real danger. Here, player 3 is now with 10 points, and we've got 27 rounds left, 14 finished. I'd say in another 7 rounds, having 10 score points will be already a big barrier for others to catch up. So the developer team, Team Blue, stands at 0 and 10. Clearly, player 1 is just playing the protection, and player 3 is the one who's going to score for that team. Yeah. And player 1 gets jailed. Alright, elections happen. Player 4 gets the governorship, loses half the votes. Which is a good thing and a bad thing. I mean, the bad thing, in case he needed those 10 votes to win, to play some chaos card. Good thing is that he's now the governor, so he can move across the bribe spots without any penalty. Player 2 plays some inexpensive or free card in the casino, up to 260. It's not much. It's not gonna buy any dangerous card. More interested in player 4 with 700 coins. The location is not indicative of where he's up to. Maybe he goes to the Inferno, but in the Inferno there are no expensive cards, generally speaking. Maybe there's a Chaos card for 1,000, but it's not there. Alright, so where will he go? That's a big question. He's moving to the Inferno. And what is he gonna do there? Oh, one of the strong cards in the game. A deal with the devil. So either 15 votes or a considerable amount of money, 500, or you get 4 score points. What he did is he got 15 votes, so he's up to 20 votes right now. The elections are still 18 rounds away. And so my bet is that he's going to go out of the Inferno and go back to the Inferno to try to play one of the Chaos cards. And that could be the Agent of Chaos, which will bring him 6 points. The other option would be to go for the same 6 points to the Astral Plane, but that's much farther away. So look at him. He's trying to go back to the Inferno. He's 4 spots away from the Inferno. Yeah. So I see that the players in the chat support the decision to score 15 votes. But look at that. He's getting jailed. Because he's got a criminal card, he will go to jail. At the same time, jail is not too far away on this board from the Inferno. So, are you taking away a card, or? So you see player 1 making our life difficult, moving that menu across the screen, and player 4 is arrested. He's got the votes, but he's locked up in jail. For 2 rounds. Okay. And then following 2 rounds, he'll have to go out, cross the misfortune spot, then cross another misfortune spot, and then he gets to the Inferno. The question is, how soon will this happen, and will elections happen before then? If the elections happen, then he's going to lose half the votes. Player 3 with 10 points and 359 coins is not really a big threat. He's in the junkyard. He's in the dump. And he's getting arrested. Alright. 2 players in the jail. 2 players out of jail. I think player 1 is just procrastinating and fine-tuning the stream. So we have player 3, yes, the only hope of Team Blue. Alright, the Police Dirigible is a pretty convenient card if you need to cross the board. Wow, 6 points. Team Red takes the lead. Team Red is now with 11 points. So you can use 2 office cards. If you get to, yeah. Alright, so you made some money. Player 1 made 600. If he has some strong cards, he can play them at the plant, but I'm not sure he's got them. No. He's got a couple of bank cards. He's got, well, I'm not gonna give any tips to the other team, so I'll just stop at this. Team Red is in the lead by 1 point. Team Blue is not that far behind. We're in the middle of this game. 20 rounds passed, 21 rounds to go. Generally, at this time, I would expect to see someone in the lead, but at 0-10 and 4-11, both teams still have a chance to win. I would probably say that Team Red is in a stronger position because player 4 can still visit the Inferno, cash in 10 votes, and earn 6 score points, which will make Team Red at 10 and 11. And so both players can technically win. Team Blue is a little bit lost. Player 3 is doing a good job, but player 1 is kind of trying to synchronize everything. And 14 rounds until the next election, unless there's an unexpected election that happens in the meantime. Player 2 loses 1 point, so the score becomes 0-10 and 4-10. He loses 1 more point, so he's down to 9. And temporarily, Team Blue is in the lead. Team Blue is at 0-10, Team Red is at 4 and 9. As a reminder, the scores are not totaled up. It's not the total sum of the scores of all players in the team, but it's the highest score of someone on the team that is counted towards the victory. Now, let's take a look again at the statistics. Player 4 is the richest with almost 800 coins. Player 1 is also not he's got potential. I mean, he's got 600, but he's got 0 points. He's got a high malice of 9, and he's in the section of the board that doesn't really give much choice to spend that money. Player 4 probably wants to get to the Inferno. We'll see if he can get there in time before losing his votes. Player 3 with 300 doesn't really have the money to play something serious, but he's got 12 votes. So if he can get to the Inferno ahead of player 4, then he can still play the Chaos card and prevent Team Red from scoring 6 points. Player 1 right now, as you see, is in the marketplace. This is one of the more interesting mechanics in the game. This is the auction. So every player makes a bid in coins, and then the player with the highest bid gets 3. But of course, the trick is that all the other players who do not win, they still spend their money. All right. So what happened there? You got 3 score points and then you sold 1. Okay, so you went from 0 to 3, and then from 3 you sold 1, and then you got down to 2 score, but 400 money. Okay. I'm still curious about what's going to happen with the votes. Player 3 can play one of the chaos cards. Player 4 can do the same thing. And they're all next to each other on the board. So whoever gets to the Inferno first will realize that advantage. Alright, player 3 seems to have a different idea. Not sure where he goes. Okay, everyone loses income. It's generally bad misfortune for everyone. And player 4 goes to the dump and scores 16 points. Wow. That was a pretty big move. And now Team Red is definitely in the lead at 9 and 16. 9 and 16 is definitely far better than 2 and 10. And since we're already after 19 rounds, after 22 rounds actually in the game, I would say my money right now is on Team Red. Team Red also moves up with the second player, going up to 14 points. So it's 14 and 16 versus 2 and 10. I would say bye-bye Team Blue. We'll see, of course. Some things are always possible. Maybe there's a comeback somewhere in player 3. But right now it looks like Team Red is in a very good position where each of their players can potentially move up to 20. On yesterday's stream with 3 teams, 2 players each, we ended up at around 36 with one of the players scoring 20 points. We're at around 23 right now, and player 4 is up at 16 points. So pretty good, pretty good. Generally speaking, team format is a lot of fun. It's even more fun when it's a part of community tournaments where you have 20 teams or 24 teams signing up, setting up the schedule of the game, a challenge, and then spending about a month playing with each other to determine the winner. Generally, such tournaments have players who understand each other really well. So you see in the semifinals and in the finals, you see some exceptional play. For the ranked sessions, we do not use team format because we don't think it's a good idea to match random people with each other. Alright, so at 5 and 9, Team Blue is slowly crawling out of the gutter, even though Team Red is by far superior in terms of score right now. In terms of placement, Team Red is not in a good position. One is in the jail, even though he's escaping it. Yep. Alright. Well done. Well done. So the left side of the board here is a bit more powerful than the right side in terms of where you want to be. And with 16 rounds to go and 9 rounds until elections, I'd say Team Red has a chance of hitting 20 score or higher. 400 disappeared, now it's down to 200 for player 4. Not sure what his plan is. Looking at where he is, maybe going back to the Inferno and still playing that card, as he still has 18 votes, and the Chaos card that we discussed before takes only 10. Overall, the game right now, I think it has what, close to a couple of hundred of cards, and every season we introduce 2 more cards. Sometimes it's new mechanics, sometimes it's the cards that we think are required for balancing things. So let's see what happens here. 5 and 9 versus 14 and 16, nothing changed much. But I'm pretty sure that player 4 is trying to get to the Inferno. And he's only 3 spots away. Let's see. No! Wow. He's going back to the office. That's not a very strong card. So that means that he just needed the extra money. With 400, he has some chances of going to the dump or making a round and going back to the office, but I'm not entirely sure what exactly is he up to. Team Blue slowly but steadily climbs up to 9-9 versus 14 and 15 for Team Red. It's 14 rounds left. So with 14 rounds left, there's not much space left to play something incredible. I would say in another 4 rounds, we will be entering late game, where you could technically prevent others from winning and pull them down, but it's not likely that you will score well in that period. If I would be on Team Blue, I'd probably focus on trying to jail player 4 or trying to disrupt the plans more than on trying to build something of your own. In terms of money, we're at 200, 450, 500, and 400. It's not incredible amounts. The income of player 2 is pretty good at 64. The income of player 3 at 44 is okay. The other incomes, player 4 at 30 and player 1 at 40, is nothing special, really. In terms of permanent cards, Team Blue is in the lead. They have 3 permanent cards between both of them. And generally, income and permanent cards are a good indication of how strong you're positioned to benefit in the later game. And 6 rounds left until elections. Whoever wins the elections gets 1 extra score point, as well as becomes the governor. Player 2 is in conflict with player 1. Player 2 probably goes to jail, I think. Not sure what the delay is. And if the player was watching the stream to see the numbers show up. So player 1 goes to jail as he was outbid. What else remains here right now? In terms of money, watch out for player 3, player 4. In terms of location, player 3 is in the position to either go to treasure or race up to the astral plane. That spot is potentially dangerous. Because when you're at that spot, you could do this thing or you could the other thing. So Team Red at 14 and 15 is still in the lead, and I think at that time, with 12 rounds to go, they're not really having that much risk. There's still an Inferno card, a Chaos card, available for 10 votes. That'll bring 6 score points, and I'm really lost why no one is playing it. Technically, player 4 could do it, or now even player 2 could do it, and player 3 just needs 2 more votes to do it. But he's on the way to the astral plane. Now let's see what he's gonna play. Wow! He scores 7 points by playing one of the strongest cards in the game that costs 5 votes. Alright. Now, look at player 4. He just took a lot of bribes. Every bribe that he takes gives him 1 malice up. So his malice is now really high. It's up to 17, sorry. He teleports to the treasure. Scores 2 more points. Coming back to the lead. So Team Blue right now at 7 and 16. Team Red is at 13 and 17. It's an interesting proposition. So player 3 with 16 score points, 2 permanent cards, and an income of 44, as well as 500 coins, is in a pretty good position. Player 4 has a little bit less money, 1 score point more, but his malice is much higher. His malice is at 19. And as he's the governor, he doesn't pay the bribes yet, and he probably is going to win the elections in 3 rounds, scoring another point, so he'll move to 18 score points. At that time, he'll be at 18, player 3 at 16, to 2 score points between them, and 10 rounds left. Now, what exactly is going to happen here? He just flew over to the astral plane. Oh, whoa! Player 2 is at 19 score points. So I think this game today runs faster than the game that we had yesterday. Now, Team Blue at 7 and 16 looks weaker than Team Red at 17 and 19. And in terms of position, wow, player 3 is jailed for 3 rounds. The elections happen in 2 rounds. Now the elections will be won by player 4, driving his score up to 20. So they're at 19-19 right now. Alright, so 9 more rounds left in this game, and 2 rounds until elections. Team Blue is not in the weakest position at 7-14, but I don't think anyone has any hopes that they will win, especially because the strongest player is currently jailed for another 2 rounds, even though he's got 400 money. So he could play something once he gets out. I am still lost why no one rushes to the Inferno to play the Chaos card that costs 10 votes. And I think maybe player 4 can do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 spots. I don't know. Eight rounds left in this game. As a reminder, Today is the last day of the sale that we ran on the front page of Steam. I think there's 2 hours left, 2 or 3 hours left in there. We will have the official tournament on the weekend, and we'll run some sort of a DLC discount on the weekend, as we see that people are asking for that to happen following them picking up the game. This week the game got a little bit over 20,000 new players already. There's about 1,500 players in the game right now, playing either in Amsterdam or in Singapore server, which offer different ranked rules. And that's for those who play multiplayer. Single player is about half of the game, and we see about half of all cases where people play, they play in single player. Alright, so 1919 versus 714. 8 rounds to go. Elections happen. The governor reaffirms his standing, scores an extra point, goes up to 20. Well, Team Red, just like the winners of the game yesterday, Team Red today shows a different style of playing. Both of the players are strong. Both have a chance of ultimately winning this game. In terms of more traditional play, Team Blue is like that, where player 1 is in the supportive role towards player 3. Now we've got some people in jail. I'd say we have everyone in jail except for player 1. Achievement unlocked, amazing, yeah. In the game of 4, 3 are in the jail. I wish there was more to do for player 1, but he's got no money. He's got 50 coins, so there's not really much that he can do, even though everyone else is in the jail. Player 4 keeps making circles. And now, again, 2 players are in the jail. 1 player is on the way out of jail, and 1 player is in a pretty good spot where he can reach other strong positions. 5 rounds left. Can player 3 score more than 6 points in those rounds? I don't think so. Unless there's a strong card in the Inferno that can take away the points from player 4, but even if that happens, then player 2 is in a strong position too with 19 points. So I think at that time we're looking at Team Red winning. And I'm pretty sure it was Team Red that won yesterday too, so, you know, simple solution. If you want to win in this game, a team game, then make sure that you're on Team Red. Alright, 3 more points for Team Red. Up to 23. Now he's killing it. With 4 rounds left, there's not really much to do. Even though player 4 at this time is pretty spent, he's got only 36 coins, he's got 6 votes, so I'd say there's not much that we can expect from player 4 until the end of the game. Player 2, his teammate, is in the jail with pretty high malice, so there's also not much to do there. Team Blue, on the other hand, player 1 doesn't really have much money, 80 coins. Player 3 has almost 500, but where is he? He's in the marketplace. So maybe he can make it to the treasure, but it's unlikely he'll change the situations in any significant way. 3 rounds left in this game. I don't think we'll see another round of elections until the end of the game. This is the second playing field, which we call Clockwork Colony. The first playing field, the Clockwork Town, is a bit harder to understand, but it's more traditional in the way that the different locations are tied up closer, uh, and that field is harder to read. And now we have Team Blue at 7 and 15, Team Red at 19 and 23. So the difference between the top players in different teams is 8 score points. 3 rounds left. I think at this time player 3 only has one chance if he runs to the Inferno or if he makes it to the Astral Plane. So let's see where he goes. Let's go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 spots to the Astral Plane. So where he is right now places him still about 2 moves away from the Astral Plane with 3 rounds left. The strongest player, player 4, is still at 23, and I would say he's unreachable at this time. So we can already say congratulations to Team Red. And if we total up all the points, then Team Blue is at 22 and Team Red is at 42. That's a huge difference, almost double. Coordination is crucial if you play team games. In this game, you just saw how Team Blue miscoordinated and missed the chance of helping each other to make it. We're 2 rounds away from the end of the game. In the lead, Imsuli, player from Japan, with a long track record of strong performance in this game, whether in ranked letters or in team tournaments. So I'd say Team Red, and Japan in particular, takes the flag today in this stream. There's only 1 round left, not much that you can do. You know, just go and drown yourself somewhere in the dump. And we're 1 round away. At 24 and 19, Team Red is in considerable lead. Well-deserved lead. They're doing really well, and they deserve the victory. Okay, player 3 makes it to the Astral Plane. Scores 7 points. That's a good finishing move. It's only 2 points beyond the leader. So we're at 24, 22, 21, and 7. That's a pretty tight finish. Congratulations to Team Red. You've done really well. Super impressive play with both players in a very strong position. And thanks to everyone who is watching and supporting the teams. Thanks for staying with us. As a reminder, yesterday and today we run a Steam front page sale. I think it's about 2 hours until that is wrapped. The game celebrates its 3rd anniversary. Right now we have close to 600,000 players in the game overall across the time, and right now and for the next couple of weeks we'll probably see about 1,000 and a half players online playing multiplayer. on both servers, Singapore and Amsterdam. If you'd like to participate in the official tournament, and the official tournament kicks off tomorrow, there are 2 different ladders on Amsterdam and on Singapore with different rules. You can compete in both, and if you make it into the top list, then you'll get a bunch of different prizes. We also run a giveaway for some real life hard animal pins with the symbols from the game that we just created for the community. It's happening right now on the game's official Discord server. So if you're into that, then go and give it a chance there. And there's the link to the Discord server, the official one, is in the top right corner right now on the stream. And if you're into team games, then there's a discussion going on about the next community team tournament. So if you'd like to join or organize or advise, and talk to the people in the relevant channel on the Discord server and see where that takes. Thanks a lot for staying with us. We hope you enjoy the game. We hope you enjoy the upcoming tournament that starts tomorrow. And again, congratulations to Team Red for their amazing win. See ya.